Ladies and gentlemen, welcome today to another edition of a premiere on the channel. And this one is going to take place for NASCAR 21 Ignition as usual for the Career Mode Season 1. We are at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Foxwoods Resort Casino 301 for the full race highlights of this video. We'll quickly go through the starting lineup and hop right into this race. But before that, of course, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. And we'll get into this one. Martin Truex Jr. will be starting on the pole with Chase Elliott on the outside of the front row. Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin in row number 2 with Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch in row 3. Kyle Larson, the regular season points leader, inside row 4 with Austin Dillon to his outside. Dillon has one win himself as well. Then Matt DiBenedetto and Ryan Blaney will be in row number 5. We will be starting at the rear. No practice or qualifying for myself into this one today. And let's see if we can get it done. Pit window is going to be 76 to 80 laps. Probably going to be shorter than that. I'll do my best. We hopefully just got to not run out of fuel here. It's not my fault. It's not my fault if I run out of fuel because there's no telemetry in this game, especially when I look at the fact that I was able to go 76 to 80 laps at New Hampshire on the custom schedule season. We'll see what we can do. Green flag is in the air. Stability help is on for the 750 tracks per usual. With no practice or qualifying, this is going to be very, very interesting here for the 48 of Schneider. We'll see if he can get it done today. Big stack up at the rear of the field. 2 and 3 wide. The back of the pack. Schneider kind of trying to diamond the corners off. It's been a long time since the last top 10 finish for this 48 team, so looking to break through today. And he's already battling a pretty tight race car in the early going. Little contact off the exit of turn 2 between the Rick Ware cars of James Davison and Josh Bilicki. Get everybody migrating towards the top of the racetrack. Like they were able to keep it off the wall. Schneider's going to make a couple passes on Bilicki and Gase. Some of the Rick Ware cars will dive onto the inside of Ty Dillon in the 96 for the Gaunt brothers now. Unable to quite make the pass there. It's definitely an extremely tight race car. Whether he's on the inside or the outside, very protective with trying to hold on to their positioning. Barely holds on in front of Quinn Houff as he arcs the quarter off on the exit that time. Finally pulls clear, but that pass took about 3 to 4 laps to really develop. And that was only for 38, so Schneider's going to have to really pick this pace up. Maybe make some adjustments throughout the course of the day to get it faster, unless he does have good long run speed as he passes Timmy Hill in the next quarter, turns 3 and 4. Hopping out of line nearly was Joey Gase, so he got a little bit of a nudge from the 48 car's front bumper.
Got one left. Clear. All right, keep it high. Clear all around.
There's him on the outside, so a little bump and run on Joey Gase to make the pass there. Enough of a slide on corner entry for him.
Stay right.
Oh, Ty Dillon just sideswipes him, the 48 rather. That was all Dillon's fault that time, but that's what I mean. Schneider just keeps getting challenged. The outside is where he's able to drive it in a bit deeper, arc the corner off. Or the problem really lies with that. As he gets crowded off the exit of the corner, and he really doesn't want to risk it. He's squeezed into the wall, blowing a tire. Lou's trying to get back to the gas. Look at the car sliding out from the rear underneath the 96 of Dillon, and he fails to make another pass. Drives it in pretty deep down into turns 1 and 2. They'll pull clear in the center of the corner, trying to get back into the gas. Slides the race car quite a bit. Strips the wall also. Car's definitely sliding quite a bit.
2 down there.
It's tight in the middle. Entry all the way into the middle, but then on the exit, as he's trying to power back down into the gas, it's getting really, really challengingly loose.
3 wide, 2 down there. Clear, clear.
Bump to the 62. Sliding back into the throttle. He's really burning those rear tires up. We're only 20 laps into the run. But he does clear Brendan Gaughan for a 32nd now. Schneider's definitely dirt tracking it. Big blocks going on between Justin Haley and Kaz Gralla. Schneider looking to the inside of the 16. He's there. He's going to try to side draft.
Got 1 right. Clear, 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 clear.
Going down into turns 1 and 2 now.
2 outside, 3 wide.
Trying to hug that yellow line. Is he going to clear the 16? He tries to, and he squeezes the 16 car to make the pass. Probably wasn't the way to go about it. Haley drives it in deep, trying to get to the 78 car. Haley now pulls up and blocks the 48.
Stay left.
Schneider cuts underneath him, and will try to side draft Haley down the front straightaway.
Clear all around.
He dives it into turn 1.
Car right.
A bump to the back of the 78.
All around. Car right.
Really loose that time for the 48. Barely kept it off of McLeod, but he does slide up in front of Justin Haley.
Got 1 right. Clear all around.
Sends it into the corner.
1 left.
Schneider continues to slide those rear tires.
Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear. Stay left. Clear, clear. Got 1 right. Got 1
And the
right.
power pass the 38 car, sliding, getting back to the gas. Did a great job keeping it off of him.
Car right.
We'll stay underneath him, though, down into turn 1.
All right, hold your line.
Beats it back to the gas this time.
Stay left.
Just enough to clear.
Stay left.
Pulls out a line now on the 43 of Eric Jones, and he'll make another pass for position. He's going to hope that Jones is going to try to cross him back over. He's not going to be able to. Schneider's definitely fighting the handling of the race car. But he is trying to charge forward as much as he can. Contact with the 47 of Stenhouse. Squeezes him now off the exit of turn 2. Suarez wanted to pull down, didn't really get much of a chance to.
Clear, clear.
Schneider almost lost it that time. A little bit more of a power slide. Suarez trying to get down so he can make the pass on Ryan Newman, but instead, because LaJoie is there, making it difficult for him. Schneider's not able to quite power or pass either one. He's being held up right now. Suarez again looking to throw a block. Not going to happen. Schneider's going to test to the outside. Is he going to get shown the room to be able to hold it off the exit of the corner? And they do hold 3 wide. Suarez up high with a bit of a block now. A little tag from behind. Knocked him a little loose into the corner. Oh, Suarez gets back into the side of him. And almost turned the 48. Schneider to the bottom, underneath Suarez.
Clear, clear, clear.
Gonna slide up in front of the 99 car.
Car right. Clear, clear,
Schneider
clear.
underneath the 6 of Newman.
All clear. Car right. All clear.
And a little contact.
Still next to you. Still next to you. All clear.
Now Schneider's clear. Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe, a couple other young guns right in front of him for Stuart Haas Racing. That was a big time slide for the 48. Trying to drive it in extremely hard. Back to the bottom of the 14.
Clear, clear.
Slide up into the 41 though of Custer.
Got one left. 3 wide middle. Still inside. Clear, clear, clear. Middle of 3. 1 left.
Still 3 wide and a Stuart Haas sandwich off the exit of turn 2.
Got 1 left. Clear all around. 1 left. All clear.
Still on the bottom, Schneider trying to slide off the exit of turn 4, the 3 wide again. This time it's the 48 on the bottom of both the SHR Fords. Slides up in front of Custer. Here comes the 14 of Briscoe. Schneider's able to keep the car on the bottom and hold him behind as well. That's a dive underneath the 17, really using up Busher. At least he was able to get around Chastain still. Contact was only making the 48 even more loose of what he already was. It's really amazing how much this car's sliding around because I do not remember being this loose when I was at New Hampshire for the custom schedule season. Dive underneath the 17. Now he's got the positioning on him going down into turns 1 and 2, but he pushes so tight on corner entry. Well, that time he didn't push tight. The 17 crowded him. This allows for Schneider to pull clear. Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace right in front of him, side by side. Not making Schneider's life any easier. Schneider pulls in line behind them both. Down the back straightaway, 34. Stuck in the middle, 48 all the way to the outside. We'll see how much room Schneider's going to get off the exit of turn 2. He's hoping for enough. And he didn't really get a whole lot. He's in the wall. Snappy loose. He's still got roughly about 30 more laps until he pits. I mean, Luce is fast, obviously. He's definitely got long run speed, but it is wrecking Luce, so he's definitely going to want to tighten it up over the course of this longer run. And again, he cracks the wall off the exit of turn 2. Getting a little bit worse.
Stay right. Clear all around. 3 wide. You're up top. 2 inside. You're 3 wide. Got 1 left.
Outside of the 10 of Almirola. Nearly getting squeezed into the wall. I don't know how nobody made contact that time. Schneider's going to pinpoint down to the bottom now as he drives it in deep. Down to the apron, but look at how much the 48's sliding through the center of the corner. McDowell clears the 10 of Almirola. Schneider still alongside of Almirola down the front straightaway. Now he'll drive it off deep into turns 1 and 2 again, trying to get it to stick, but instead he slides up into the 34 of McDowell. Squeezes the 34 car now, and he's up to 17. First Busher was able to get around McDowell after the checkup, and he almost got underneath the 48 as well. Schneider sliding way too much. Busher clears McDowell off the exit of turn 4. Almost got to the left rear corner panel of the 48. Logano to the inside of his teammate Keselowski. Austin Dillon on the outside of him as well, as they are 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. 2x2 behind him with Byron and Wallace. 2x2 in front of him as well, it looks like, between Bell and I can't tell who else that is up there. I think it's the Benedetto in the 21. These guys are slowing each other up quite a bit, though. Schneider now up the middle. They're 3x3 at New Hampshire. I'm not sure this is going to work. Just cleared the 23 car. That was a power move by the 48. Now he's outside of the 2 of Keselowski. Oh my goodness, that was a very sketchy moment. And they all get through about as cleanly as you could hope. Schneider into the left rear of Logano, nearly turns the 22. Another close call. Still there, trying to side draft him now. Just enough to pull him back. Contact between Logano and Schneider in turns 1 and 2 again. Schneider pushed a little tight, squeezed Joey. He clears him still off the exit of turn 2. More cars to pass, and Schneider's going to have a lot of clean air in front of him. Should hopefully be able to pull away from this group. Pulls clear the 3 car of Austin Dillon. He gets around him cleanly now.
2 inside, you're 3 wide. 2 inside, you're 3 wide.
He's got Bell and DiBenedetto underneath him. Off the exit of turn 2. Bell might have gotten into DiBenedetto, and Schneider just about got squeezed into the wall. Schneider's going to go to the bottom now. Oh, he's going to send it. And he gets into the left rear of Kurt Busch and knocks the 1 car out of the way. Gets himself sideways in the process. Now he's stuck in the middle. Benedetto gets back by on the outside again. He's going to go low to try and get around Busch himself. Busch throws the block. That leaves the top lane open for the 48. Getting squeezed now by Busch himself. A little payback from Kurt. As they battle for 9th place. Schneider undercuts down to the bottom. Clear in the middle of the corner. And he's still clear off the exit, beating Busch back to the gas. Lap 53, Schneider now up to 9th. So lap 75 just hit low on fuel that time. So the fuel window still probably 76 to 80 laps. We're not going to take it all the way to 80 because I don't trust it. But I do believe we can go to lap 76, which is what Schneider is going to push for here as he battles Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick now for the 7th place position. So lap 76 at the line, which means Schneider will pit this time by. Still probably has the shortest fuel tank of anybody in the field if I had to guess. Reddick almost made contact with Justin Haley that time. Schneider dive bombs to the inside of Reddick going into turns 3 and 4. He'll make the pass, so Schneider will be in 8th place coming into the pits. Power slides just a bit. And not sure what that speed limit is. Probably 40 miles an hour as Schneider will make his way into the pit box for the first time today. 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments for the 48. Thought about tightening the race car up. Decided not to. And now he needs us to play green all the way through the first set of stops because he is the first into the pits. Again, because now, since the latest patch on this game, we just can't go as far as everybody else on fuel. But at least we can go far enough to make it a 3-stop race today. So that's really all I ask for. And half the fans left, it looks like, on the front stretch. I don't know what happened there, but they disappeared. Anybody else see that? Maybe they'll come back, make our way out of the pit lane. Who knows? We see cautions in the middle of green flag pit stops a lot, though, with the 48 being the first to pit. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Now, the good news is they'll have fresher tires than everybody else. Into the green flag pit stops. Here's Martin Truex Jr. in the 19. Oh, geez, contact with the back of Justin Haley. Truex coming out of the pit lane. He's going to pull up right in front of the 48. Schneider's going to cross him over as Truex is trying to get back up to speed. And these two are battling for position. So Schneider has ran down Truex just a bit. Now Truex has a few lap pressure tires on the 48. He's going to try to get away from him. Schneider's up to 4th. Truex currently scored 3rd. He may be the leader. I'm not sure who the leader was. Schneider first came into the pit lane. Decent amount of space, though, around the 48. I think Schneider's fairly comfortable with this situation right now. Fresh tires, the car feels great. Especially not a lot of traffic in front of him. Yep, up to 2nd, so Truex has cycled to the lead. Of course, Truex and Schneider were the first 2 cars to pit as well. I'm sure that helped. Schneider to the inside of the lap car, Daniel Suarez. Get around him in turns 3 and 4. Still no lap cars between the top 2. Schneider will get loose on the longer run again. And as these tires start to wear off. They cycled through the first set of pit stops, and he's in the wall pretty heavily in turns 1 and 2. Pretty good look into the wall, lose some time to Truex, and now Josh Bilicki pulls out of the pit lane right into the side of the 48. And that messes his corner entry up into turn 3. Bilicki was just coming out of the pit lane. That's all he was doing. Truex dealing with lap traffic. Oh, contact, and we nearly had our first caution there. 62 coming out of the pits of Brendan Gaughan, and he runs into the side of Chase Briscoe in the 14. Bilicki at 29th, though, on the pressure tires, looking to get around. Man, big checkout there by the cars going side by side into the corner. Oh, Martin Truex Jr. has just pit at lap 105. Unscheduled stop for the 19. And that is going to give the 48 the race lead. So drama with just less than 200 laps to go here on this short track. Well, Denny Hamlin seems to be charging through the field, and he might have a shot to get to Schneider. Schneider will lead his first lap of the race this time off turn 4. He kind of crowded the 23, but the 23 came up at the same time. That certainly didn't help, but at least Schneider's able to get his first lap led of the day, and there's Truex, who just came out of the pits. So for right now, at least, seems to be good news for the 48. Truex making that unscheduled stop. No, never mind. Denny Hamlin's 31st. So somehow, some way, Schneider is quite a ways ahead. Elliott's back to 36. So these two have had some issues, and we got more drivers pitting. 52 and Joey Gase is going to pit. Oh, sorry, Josh Bilicki, rather, will pit.
Clear. Car right. Clear all around.
Just had pit stops right around lap 75 to lap 80 for the field. Then gets back around Bubba Wallace, but Elliott will make a pass as well. So now I definitely have no clue who's in second, but we know who the leader is, and that it would be the 48. Martin Truex Jr. still scored in second place right now. We'll have to see if he's on the lead lap or if he's a lap down once he gets to the back bumper of the 48 car, because he is flying through the field down the back straightaway. Truex is going to be looking to the inside of the 48, potentially the outside. He's going to be much faster on much fresher tires, but 30 laps worth of pressure tires. And that was a pass for the lead, so Truex did get back around the 48. These two have to pit 2 more times to the end. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Truex a lot faster than Schneider right now, and Schneider may now consider a 4-stop strategy because he's already been passed, and they're equal to the end. We're at lap 130. Schneider will pit this time by 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments for the 48. And into the pits he goes.
We've got the speed. Knock it out.
So this will be a 4-tire stop. Again, no adjustments for the 48. He's changing his strategy to a 4-stop strategy now because everybody else seems to be, or at least the top portion of the field, like Truex, the race leader, is on that 4-stop strategy. So it's a little bit different 4-stop strategy in terms of when Schneider is pitting. Looks like there's another car in the pit lane right now as well. Can't tell who it is. I think it's Anthony Alfredo. Schneider's going to have fresher tires. He's going to try to cut back into that lead. He was only probably about 5-6 seconds behind Truex. And a pretty decent stop as far as time-wise goes. Going to clear Bubba Wallace off the exit of turn 4, and he is coming for Truex. Didn't pick up as much time in that corner with overdriving it. But here he comes. Outside of the 19 for the race lead. Schneider's got it. And now he has the upper edge on Martin Truex Jr. as he'll pull the block down the back straightaway. 48 car out in front. For the second time today. Just have to keep an eye on when Martin Truex Jr. pits now because it's a 2-stop strategy to the end for both drivers. Still to get 2 more stops in. We know he could go about another 25 laps roughly if he wanted to, but he'll pit this time. This will be his 3rd stop of the day. Not sure where Truex is at, if he is pit or not. If he hasn't, it'll probably grow the lead out a little bit more for the 48 of Schneider, and Schneider will come into the pit lane this time.
The leader's in the pit.
So Schneider is in the pits. 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments once again for the 48. Martin Truex Jr. in the pit lane this time. That'll give the lead back to the 48 of Schneider. Lap 187, 3rd different time now that the 48 has led today. Have to see where Martin Truex Jr. will cycle out of the pits.
Got one right.
Well, here's the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Closing in right now on the 48 of Schneider. Schneider trying to hold the bottom of the racetrack, trying to keep the 19, who's on much fresher tires, behind him as much as he possibly can. Schneider's mirror driving right now. He's going to send it pretty deep, though, into turns 3 and 4. That's going to be the route for Truex to get by and get back on the lead lap. So Martin Truex Jr. back on the lead lap with 100 laps to go at New Hampshire. He is the driver to beat. Wow.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Pit entry is red.
Well, that is not good. Schneider has just wrecked in turns 3 and 4 as he has spun the car out into the wall, bringing out a caution really for the first time today. And he's going to have to stay out because it is right at the edge of the pit window. And he is not sure that he can make it to the end. Green flag back in the air as they head down into the restart. Schneider on the inside, Truex on the outside. Truex is going to fight, and he's going to take the lead off turn 2 on his fresher tires. As Schneider hangs on to second. What a tough break for the 48. He drives it deep into turn 3. Car is struggling with the damage, struggling with the speed, and it was on his own mistake, and now he just gets door slammed by the 8 of Reddick. And he's back to 3rd. Reddick is a lap down Byron on the lead lap. Schneider's fighting a very tight race car right now in corner entry, and he's in the wall again. And Schneider again going to go for a spin.
Watch the light.
Second time.
All right, yellow flag.
Car is just way too tight on corner entry on these old tires, and now he's going to have to pit. Which gives him the potential to perhaps lose a lap. We don't know who's on fresh tires, who's on oil. We don't know who's on the lead lap, who isn't. All Schneider can do is just battle and hope for the best.
Clear. 3 wide, 2 outside. 3 wide, got 2 up top. We didn't come here for second. Keep charging.
They have some drivers pitting this time. My goodness, he just got forced below the yellow line.
2 on the outside.
Got ran into from behind by William Byron, perhaps.
3 wide, 2 outside. Stay left. We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
Schneider's up to second,
All around.
so he was a lap down. At least one down. William Byron trying to get by in third. Less than 50 laps to go.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Perhaps some adjustments were made on the 24 car of William Byron. He could be faster than the 48 right now as well. He is running him down. They were battling for position through the pack. Byron closes to the back bumper.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Some pressure tires for now. Schneider won't have to worry about having that old of tires again to the end of the race, but how much damage has he hurt the car with as well? Reddick could potentially have a shot to win this race also. Schneider back in the gas way too soon, and here comes the 24 of William Byron to the inside, and he'll take over second place now.
About 5 laps of fuel left. Car right. All clear.
Gonna put some dirty air on the front of the 48. Byron, who probably didn't even have a chance to win this race until both of the only 2 cautions came out. Now again has a shot to win, though. These two battling for second. They're not battling for the lead. They will have to run down Truex to the end of this race, assuming that they are now on the lead lap. They would have been a lap down on the initial restart. Now the Reddick might have a shot too. He is also same situation as the 48 and the 24. Caution's out again. Caution is out again. Schneider will stay out of the pits. It's our 3rd yellow of the race. Well, now they're right there. Green flag back in the air. Martin Truex Jr. may have fresh tires now. It's tough to tell. It's also tough to tell who pitted, who didn't. Schneider didn't have a great drive off that time. Next to turn 2, he struggled with Austin Dillon in 6th, who's a lap down. I believe Logano and Dillon are a lap down. They could be on the lead lap.
Clear.
And it looks like they are on the lead lap. Oh boy, Schneider almost turned Logano.
Clear.
3 cautions all in the final 80 laps of the race now. Turn the race up on its side, and we got 6 drivers under a blanket trying to battle it out, potentially for the win, assuming Truex isn't a lap ahead of the field again. Lap traffic will obviously become a factor before the end of this race. Schneider's just trying to hold on for all the positioning he can right now. He knows Dillon is another spot behind him. He goes from guaranteed top 2 now to struggling just to get a top 5. He's not that far off the leader still. Byron on the outside of Truex, but he just cannot clear him as they stay side by side to the start-finish line with less than 45 laps to go. Truex keeps sending it down on the bottom lane. Reddick's got nowhere to go with them side by side right in front of each other. They will catch lap cars before the end of this race, with it only being a 1-mile racetrack. Byron clear off turn 4, new leader. No, he's a lap down. Martin Truex Jr. is the only car on the lead lap as we speak. That is unbelievable. How did he... So, what happened was... And I'm assuming we're only 1 lap down now, but somehow Truex is a lap ahead of the field, even though Byron, Schneider, and Reddick at least, maybe Logano and Dillon as well, but we don't know about those two, but we know that Reddick, Schneider, Byron, they unlapped themselves on that last restart on the 19 to Truex. Caution came out again, bunched the field back up, but now they're a lap down again. So the game... with the scoring mistakes. And I know I was the one that brought out the first 2 cautions, kind of sparking the situation to start in the first place. I get that. What shouldn't have happened, though, is we shouldn't have lost a lap.
Got one right, got one right, got one right.
Reddick and Schneider split Chase Elliott. Schneider's in good position. Trying to make the pass on Reddick in turns 1 and 2.
Clear, clear.
Oh, he pulled right into the side of Reddick. And Reddick's going to try to cross him over off the exit of turn 2, and he is there.
Still next to you.
They battle for
Still next to
third.
you. Clear, clear. One left.
More contact, and Reddick just about turns the 48 now.
Still there.
Still side by side into
All
one.
clear.
For third place, and Schneider's clear off the exit of turn 2, finally. Just think that this would be for the race win and not second place if the scoring errors were not a thing in this game. It actually would have played out pretty well, even with Schneider's 2 mistakes, bringing out the first 2 of the 3 cautions. So we were definitely on the lead lap after the first yellow, because it had us in the lead and then Truex got around us on the restart. Then the second caution, we were a lap down for some reason. Then we got the lap back, and then it put us a lap down under the third caution again. Except for, of course, the race leader Truex, which put the leader a lap down. Literally everybody went a lap down. And it didn't matter whether I pitted or stayed out, because I pitted the first time for this lap down. I stayed out the second time for this lap down. So it really doesn't matter. It randomizes. We stayed out of the pits the first caution, and they didn't let us. I knew I had to make one more stop for the end of the race anyway. Truex still out in front of Reddick. Still about 3 seconds behind Schneider. Another lap car of Anthony Alfredo about to be caught by the 24 of Byron. A lot heavier lap traffic that will be in front of the 24 before the end of the race. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of Schneider now with 10 laps to go. Byron to the outside. Get around Alfredo pretty easily. They nearly made contact down the back straightaway. I don't know what that was all about. Byron does get through cleanly. Third place finish still going to be good for Schneider, but it was a guaranteed top 2. Corey LaJoie's in the pits as we speak. Maybe Truex makes another unscheduled stop again like he did earlier. I didn't mention that maybe that would happen, and if it somehow does happen, and then the 24 and the 48 are the ones battling for the lead, that would be insane. Byron's being held up big time in the lap traffic, and now he'll finally make his way around Looks like Daniel Suarez and Brendan Gaughan. Sorry, Quentin Half and Brendan Gaughan. Schneider's just sliding big time off turn 4. Close the gap back down to about 2 seconds again. Go to the outside and turns 1 and 2. We'll get to the outside of the 00. Now the 62 car. As quickly as he could have passed those cars for being in the middle of the corner. Say he definitely got around him quicker than Byron again. Schneider's going to blow through 3 and 4. A little bit too far, though. Pushing hard. Trying to get to second place. Pushing hard again. This time he didn't overrun the corner pushing hard. Truex only has 2 laps to go now. Schneider power slides off the exit of turn 2. Not quite close enough to Truex or Suarez yet. Now he'll make the pass on the 99. Byron just a bit faster than the 48. 2 to go for them. White flag this time by for Martin Truex Jr.
Give me one more good one here.
Final lap for Truex. Chase Elliott's going to pull up right in front of the 48 car.
Stay left, stay left.
Didn't take Schneider too long to dive underneath him, though. Elliott has a faster car. 2 lap cars right in front of Byron off the exit turn 4, holding him back. Byron's pulled away, about 3 seconds ahead of Schneider now. And checkered flag in the air. Martin Truex Jr. has won the Foxwoods Resort Casino 301 at New Hampshire. William Byron going to bring it home in second place. Now our driver Keegan Schneider will bring it home in third. Byron's still stuck behind those lap cars, but Schneider just wasn't fast enough. He really burnt the tires off there at the end, as he was about 2 seconds behind Byron. But a third place finish, that is still very, very good. To at least get back inside the top 10. We wouldn't have won this race with bringing out those cautions, unfortunately. If we could have stayed green, but that was my fault, bringing out the first yellow. It would have been close between us and Truex, but I made a mistake. Cost us a chance to win either way. Regardless of the scoring errors or not. Now, the only difference with the scoring errors is that William Byron should have won the race and we should have finished second. We only lost 1 point because of it. That still could matter for points at the end of the regular season, but we'll just have to wait and see if that will actually be the case. Martin Truex Jr. is going to be able to get the win today. Again, Byron second, Schneider third, Tyler Reddick fourth, Joey Logano fifth, Austin Dillon sixth, Kevin Harvick seventh, Brad Keselowski eighth, Christopher Bell 9th, and Eric Almirola rounds out the top 10. Only 3 cars on the lead lap due to the randomized scoring because of those 3 cautions. 2 DNFs, that would have been Timmy Hill and Ryan Newman. I think he finished like 24th, so he definitely did not have a great day by any means, but he still got a 98-point lead over now Joey Logano, who was up to second in points, passing Hamlin. He's 1 point ahead of Denny, so very close to being able to clinch potentially 2 races early still for Larson. Kind of expected that he pretty much has this regular season championship locked up. We gained our 2 spots back that we lost in the race prior. So we go from 17th to 15th in points. As far as trying to get to 10th, still sitting quite a ways out. Just over 1 race worth of points out. 52 points back. We need to stay on it to the end of the regular season if we're going to want a shot to do that. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.